Alright, welcome back. Last time we used layers and you guys got to practice using those layers, and then I said this time is going to be using a whole bunch of cool new tools in your repertoire. So let's start again by opening up GIMP. Wait for that to load up again. There we go. Create a new file. Use my size that I always like. Again, as always, you are free to choose whatever size you want. Okay, I'm going to make it fit more of the screen, and a good way to make it go full screen or fit in there is just Command Shift and J, and voila, it automatically fits your screen for you, and you don't have to go up to View, Zoom, and then Fit Image to Window. And then, always if you want to do any type of shortcuts, if they have it next to it right here, you can always go to off to the side and just read it, and it will tell you how to do that. Okay, so here we go. Now, the first tool that you guys can use, which I have mentioned before, is the pencil tool. And the pencil tool is just as if you were writing with a pencil. And you just have your tablet down and you draw with it, and there it is. You have a pencil. Okay, that is not one of my favorites. Okay, so, but it's there. I'm going to create a new layer as usual to demonstrate all these. So you can do a pencil tool. I just write very sloppily the word pencil on there. If you go over here, you can actually hide layers. So if I just do that, click this eyeball, I can hide it. And that way I can just not worry about it. So we're going to create a new layer. And let's do this. When you make yours, okay, if you double tap on the name there, you can rename it later. So I'm going to call this one pencil. Okay, so let's try that again. Pencil. There we go, and just hit enter. And there you go. So we're going to call this next layer. Double click on it. I'm going to name it brush. And I want to show you some really cool things I've shown you before. That the brush tool is just one of my favorites, just to draw with in general, just because it's a lot smoother here. Again, undo. You can just do Command Z, or if you have it already attached to your pen tool as the bottom button, and voila, it just undoes it. So you can just do a normal draw, but if you come over to, too far, there you go. If you come over to this area, okay, this area over here, they have a ton of cool brushes. So you can start off, let's make this bigger now so that you can see it. So have a lot of cool brushes. So one is you can draw with a star and just bam, stamp a star. Or you can just keep going and it draws stars for you. So you can do a lot of cool things with this one. So you can have a flat brush that's always like this. And you can draw as if you were doing a cool paintbrush, kind of a faded one. Okay. You can do this one. This is pretty neat. Very fun, very fun. And you can get into some of the other ones as well. Scatter brush. And again, you can always just change the size of what that scatter looks like. And that's just fun little things you can do. See, just pick a couple brushes, brush with them. You can even draw something like this. Cool, crazy explosions. You can draw with this one. Very cool. So just play around with them, have fun. Choose a couple different brushes to use to play around with. I'm going to move back to my basic one here, and then drop it back down to my 8 or so that I like. There we go. So we've done a pencil tool, we have a brush tool. Let's talk about changing color. if you go to right over here, these are your colors, and you can choose them by going up and down on here. You can mess with the sliders over here, although I never do that. You can make it darker, lighter, or more white, or gray. So let's say I set it here. Now when I draw, all of my drawing is going to be in that color. Again, even if you draw one of these, this drawing will be in that color as well. So to me, that's just an awesome way to enjoy these brushes. Here we go. So we've changed the size over here, change the size of it. You can change the color of it. You can use the pencil tool. You can use the brush tool. And the next one I want to show you is this tool right here. Okay, this is the path tool, or what I call the pen tool. We're going to start with design mode, and design mode is where you draw with. And what you do is you just make a dot, and then you make another dot, and it can make a line. Not only though can it make a line, but you can start pulling it if you leave your mouse down, and you can start creating different shapes. Okay, very smooth, intricate lines here. Okay, and you just pick it up, put it back down, and move it around. Now you can also go to edit mode, and you can edit different things. You can put another node in there. These are called nodes. You can just keep adding them and adding them. You can also grab them and move them. Oh, sorry. In the design mode, you can grab them and move them, or grab these things and change the shape again. Go back to edit mode, add some more, add some more, and you can even then go to the move tool and just move the whole thing around. When you're ready to go, it's called stroke path. You hit stroke path here, okay, and you can, at that point, whatever color you have up here, okay, will show up down there. So solid color, whatever you have here, and you can hit stroke, and it will draw that line for you like that, okay. You can also go stroke path if you want to, and create a different type of line. If you go to here, you can do dashes, dots, whatever you want. Hit stroke, and it will create that in a dotted path. Oh, let's go back. It's already done that way. There we go. Start again. So it's there, line style, dotted line, and it will create a whole bunch of dots for you. You get off of it, let's say go to the move tool here, and you now have whatever you designed in that kind of a pattern. So this is very, very useful if you want to do some very specific type of lines, and you want to have a lot of control over that, and then you can make your drawings there. Okay, so let's go on to a new layer here. We will hide our old one that we just messed with. We will call this one, let's call this one, I should have called that last one the pen tool, or the path tool. We'll call this one, oh yeah, paint bucket. So we'll call this one paint bucket. Okay, we hit enter. And the paint bucket is this one right here. So basically you grab this paint bucket, you choose what color you want. Let's go with a nice lighter blue. It doesn't matter. And then you just click, and it fills the entire area with that color. Now let's say we go back up here, and I want to paint with pure black. Top left is pure black, bottom right is pure white. And let's say I just paint a circle here, close it up. If I go to the paint bucket tool here, I can fill it, okay, and I can fill that with whatever color I want. Let's go over here to red, and it will fill inside that area with whatever you want. So whatever you have encompassed around it, then you can fill it with whatever color you want. You can, let's go back here. So I don't have that there. You can do a pattern fill. And if you go over to here, this area here, you can select a pattern. So let's go with this pattern. And you use your paint bucket and you click. It will fill all of that area with that pattern. So this would be good for more of one of your backgrounds, or you create a layer as a separate background that you can then use or not use at a later time. So let's get rid of that one so you can't see it. We'll start a new layer. This one is creating lines. I'm just going to call this one line. So let's create a line here. To do this, it's very different. So we start with a brush tool. Let's say we use red here. It doesn't matter what color you use. With brush tool, all you have to do is you just click. Okay, I clicked. I hold Shift, and I move over to another area. And wherever I click my second time, we'll create a straight line. So click, hold Shift, and if you notice that what came up, that's on my Wacom tablet, so I don't have to go to the keyboard again. And then I tap, and I have another line, whatever size you want to use. If I use a huge one there, okay, so I use a huge thickness. Go over here, create a new one, tap, Shift, tap, it'll create a thicker line. Okay, so it's very useful if you want very, very, very straight lines. So let's get rid of that one. Let's create a new layer. We're going to call this one Shapes. We are going to create lots, well, I wouldn't say a whole lot of different shapes. I'm going to be able to create 2 shapes here. Now these shapes, which is interesting, is called shape paths. And what happens is you don't just draw it and boom, it's a shape. And with whatever you want, it is a shape path, and then you can either fill it in or put a stroke around it like we did for our line path tool that we use this one. Okay, so you just click and you go out, okay, and you create your image. There's your rectangle, and you can go up here, and this is how you really edit it. Okay, you go to edit here, and at this point you can fill with foreground color. Now if you look over here, this is your foreground color, this is your background. This is your secondary click, this is your regular click. So if you fill with foreground color, that's your first one that's up, it will fill with the color that you have here. Okay, we can go back, we can try edit. Oh, let's change our background color here. Let's go to a red here. So we have green and red, Christmas. Edit. You can, with this that you're using here, fill background color, it will fill with that other color. Okay, undo. Let's go with fill with pattern. So whatever pattern you have over here, let's do a different pattern. Let's do a leopard print pattern. So if you go over here, this is your regular brush pattern gradient. Okay, so we have a pattern here, leopard print. So let's do edit, fill with pattern, and it will fill with the pattern that you have selected over there. So you can do a lot of different things. Let's go back, and you can also do strokes selection. I wouldn't do stroke path. We're going to do stroke selection. That's the one that we're going to use. It's going to be very similar to what we did earlier. So we can do a solid color, and we can go and choose that color again, whatever color we want. Let's do that color. And you can stroke that solid color, change the line to whatever you want to do. What line do we have? We have a dotted line. I want to do just a regular line, and we're just going to hit stroke, and it is going to put a line around all of this. There we go. I can switch out to something else, and that's what we have. We have that shape. We can do a different shape, so we can do this one. You can, at that point, fix aspect ratio so that when you create your new one, it's going to, no matter what, be a perfect square from the point that you clicked. So there we go. I have a perfect square. I can go in, I can edit this one, fill with background color. I can go up and I can do another shape, which is your kind of a circle shape or oval shape, it's really an oval until you do that fixed aspect ratio thing again. So here we go. I got an oval here. Same thing. Edit. Let's do fill with pattern again. Okay, so whatever pattern you have selected right now, that's the pattern. I can switch it up and say edit, fill with that pattern. There you go. And I can even do another one. And again, if you go down to fixed aspect ratio, when you draw this, it will be a perfect oval. What do we have here? Size. We're going to make this, no, come on. And make these both the same. You can edit the shape of it later if you want. Here we go, 314. Fixed aspect ratio. There you go, you have one. You can edit stroke selection here. Solid color. There you go. It's going to stroke it like that. Now again, we'll try another one. This one should be a perfect circle. There you go, perfect circle every single time. Okay, as long as these two are pretty much the same. Okay, and you have fixed aspect ratio. File, oops, sorry, edit. Again, let's do stroke selection. We're going to do a different type of line. Okay, let's do short dashes. You can also stroke with the paint tool, whichever. You have this up here, whatever you have that set to, that's what it will do. Let's do stroke. There you go. Go into a different tool, and there you go, you have that. Okay. So this allows you to make certain shapes and customize them however you want. So our next one is going to be text, just because I know we did it in another one, but since we're going over all the tools anyways, basically you have your T for text. You type in your text here, and you can say text. Oh. All right. Right now I have this selected. This is a good time to discuss this. If you go over here to select and you have something on your screen still and it's really bothering you, you go up to select and you hit none, and that'll get rid of that selection, that weird selection that we had. So we're going to go back over to our text tool here, and we're going to type text, text here. Now that's really small, so you just go and highlight it, and you can make it bigger. You can change the color. Let's say I want this text to be, let's go with a dark green. There we go, dark green. Text here, it's now dark. You can bold it, unbold it, you can slant it, you can underline it, you can put a strike through, you can do any of those things. Now this is interesting, you can move this and this will spread it out more or make it go closer. I think this one will, nope. One of them I think makes it taller or shorter, but we're just going to leave it as it is. And if you wanted to, you can come over here and clear all of that, and it'll just be normal as if it were just there. Again, it creates its own layer over here. So you hit that, and now you have a text. And we're going to hide that so that we can work on our next one. Our next one is, let's go over here. We want to grab something. We've talked about this before. If you want to grab stuff, you have it here. Come over, grab it, move it. If you have another one, let's say our lines that we made earlier, we can go over to our lines that we made, grab them. So notice over to the right side, it is selected, and we can just drag them wherever we want. So as long as it's selected and you're grabbing the layer that you want, it will move just that layer. One of the other things we could do here is zoom. So if you just tap on there, wherever you touch will start zooming in on that area. Okay. Now if you hold, I think it's Command, okay, as long as you hold Command here, you notice that that turns to a negative. Okay. So a plus means it's getting bigger, negative, as long as you're holding Command, gets smaller. But if you notice, oh no, it went to a weird size, you're like, I don't like that, we have that Command Shift J. It will always bring it back to where it was before. Again, Command Z undoes. So if you don't want to do something, you can always hit Command Z, or if you have your tablet set up for their bottom button, you just press that button next to your tablet and it will undo automatically. The last thing I want to do is maybe resize. So if you have this right here, I want to resize this layer. I go over to this button right here, that's the resize button. We're going to select this, and as long as you grab one of these over here, one of these squares, you can reshape it, resize it to anything you want, hit scale, and it is now that brand new size, and I can start moving it around again. Those are all the tools that I have for you. Again, this is going to be one of those things you guys need to play with. I expect you to try out all the tools, make layers for each of them, and just get yourself used to using them all the time. At first, it's going to feel weird. You're not going to know what to do, but over time, if you use them enough, it'll just be like second nature, and you're going to be able to do whatever you want really fast. So enjoy it, have fun, play around, do something cool, be creative, and I can't wait to see you. All right, see you in the next video, guys.